Okay, I've reviewed lots of products by BlitzWolf before, including another Bluetooth speaker by them called the BWF3, so check out my YouTube channel for that. This is the BWF4. Now, this one, if you can't see it very well, don't worry, I'm going to show you it closer up. I'm going to show you all the sides and tell you a little bit about it. But first, I'm going to tell you the specs of it. Then I'll show you around it. Then I'll play some music quickly. It won't be anything much. It'll be some royalty-free old music probably, just to make sure the video doesn't get taken down. Bear in mind that won't be the greatest test ever because this is being recorded. And you're listening to a recording, and a recording of things like speakers, Bluetooth speakers, things like that never sound as good as hearing it in real life. So just bear that in mind. Then at the end, I'll give you the price and if I recommend it or not. This is a really sleek, premium, luxury kind of looking item. I've used and reviewed lots of Bluetooth speakers before. This one looks very premium and very, very stylish. It's probably the best one I've used. I'm trying to remember the ones I've used before. I'm pretty sure this is probably the kind of most high class, the most expensive looking one I've used. It looks really, really nice, and you'll see it closer up in a minute. It pairs really easily with your various Bluetooth devices, such as your smartphone, your tablet, your laptop, or even your desktop PC. It works on Mac as well as PC. It does have auxiliary audio, and in case you don't know what that is basically your regular 3.5mm audio plug. That is the type you will get on lots of things like headphones, earphones, microphones. It's a regular small end. And it does come with a short 3.5mm audio cable in case you don't already have one. And it also comes with a micro USB cable for charging this because it is rechargeable. To pair, you hold down the power button on the back for about 4 seconds to boot it up. Here, and you'll see this closer up, but in this corner there's a blue LED. That will be green for a second, then it will start flashing. It will start flashing blue. That means it's waiting to pair. Now you go to the Bluetooth settings on your device, such as your phone. Go to Bluetooth, make sure Bluetooth is on. Then you wait for it to your device, such as your phone, to look for it and find various Bluetooth devices. Then when it's found it, it will list it as BWF4, and you hit pair. Then it will say connecting for about a second. Then it will say paired, and you're done. Then the blue light here will turn to solid blue like it is now. Then whenever that device is on and Bluetooth is turned on and you turn this on, it will automatically pair. You don't have to pair it each time. As long as the device's Bluetooth is on and this is on, it will automatically pair the two. They say it has superior casting design using aluminium alloy. They say they went through dozens of designs to try to find the absolute best design for a case, a shell for these speakers, and I can see that's probably the case. They probably did put a little thought and a little work into it because some can look very plasticky, some look like they're a cheap product. This has this kind of premium look, and you'll see it closer up what I mean if you can't see it well from this distance. It has black grille all around, which is obviously where the speakers are. Then you have a kind of silver trim up here. Then you'll see when I show you the other way up, there's kind of a almost silvery brown kind of metal finish here. Then you have this black, almost brushed aluminium kind of look up here where the buttons are. Then you have silver buttons. It looks very, very sort of like a luxury item. It looks really premium. It's 20 watt strong bass via dual 10 watt 45mm drivers. Now what are 45mm drivers? Well, in case you don't know, drivers are just basically another word for speakers. Normally, when it's something like this, they tend to be referred to as speakers, or certainly by the average consumer. But then, quite often, when they're in a headset or headphones, they're known as drivers. So basically, if you see Bluetooth speakers like this, or you see headphones or a headset or whatever, and it says drivers, they're talking about the actual little speakers inside. And this is 45mm, that's the size of the speakers, and that is actually quite good because lots and lots of headphones are 40mm, or if they're quite expensive gaming headset, then they might be 50mm drivers. But normally in products, especially Bluetooth speakers at this price range, or headsets or headphones at this price range, are normally 30 or 40mm. This is 45, and the bigger the better normally. It depends upon the quality, because you could get a 50mm driver that's really bad quality, and so a 30mm might actually sound better. But in general, the bigger the driver, the better the bass, and this is a 45, not a 40mm, so that is really, really good. They have a passive subwoofer, so they have a dedicated passive subwoofer, so you go get a really strong bass from that as well. It's a central bass radiator, and it has a maximum volume of 80 decibels, which is good. As I've mentioned previously, it does have a rechargeable battery inside, and the USB is on the back, and I'll show you that in a minute. And it's a 4000 milliamp an hour rechargeable battery, and you're going to get about 7 to 10 hours of continuous use, which is pretty good. 7 to 10 hours between recharges is pretty good. The charge time for a full charge is around 3 to 4 hours, so not too bad. And it does use Bluetooth 4.0. A lot of products you might see, especially if they're a bit cheaper, not really very expensive, some you still get are Bluetooth 3. This is Bluetooth 4. That isn't the very latest. I believe there's a Bluetooth, well, there is a Bluetooth 4.1 actually, because I have used something that uses 4.1, but 4.0 is really good. Or if you don't want to use Bluetooth, or your device doesn't have Bluetooth, you can use a regular 3.5mm cable. It's got good frequency response of 160 Hz to 20 kHz, so very good frequency response. It has a 10-meter range, or 33 feet, so it has a 10-meter range, and what that means is that is how far the Bluetooth device can be away from this speaker and still work correctly. So you can have, say, your smartphone paired with this playing music or whatever, and you can be up to 10 meters or 33 feet away and still have it work fine. If you go further, you might start having problems, or you might disconnect completely. So 10 meters is pretty good, because normally you're not going to have your device huge distance away. You're normally going to be within the vicinity of your speaker. So 10 meters is a pretty good range. It is not hugely heavy. It has got a little bit of weight if you hold it with one hand, but it's not too much. It weighs 676 grams. So what comes included in the box before we have a closer look? There is a very basic little leaflet that just tells you how to pair it. That's pretty much it. And then we have a mini USB cable to recharge it included, and a 3.5mm audio cable for auxiliary audio. Here's the top. Hopefully it shows up alright on camera. It looks very dark on my little 3-inch screen on the back of the camera, but I think when you're seeing this properly on a larger screen, you'll be able to see it okay. There is a button here to answer calls, because it has a built-in microphone for hands-free calling, although I don't think you're going to be using it a lot on this. But if you want it, it's there. Volume up and down, back and forward, to go back and forward between songs, things like that, and a play and pause button. Then a blue LED here that flickers and flashes blue if it needs to pair, and if it's paired like it is now, it's a solid blue colour. There's a logo up here. This, I don't know how well it shows up, it kind of looks like a brushed black aluminium area here. Then you have a bit of a kind of, I'm not sure how to describe that, it's almost brushed, but not quite brushed aluminium, but it's kind of, not sure how to describe that, but it's got a metal area here, then a silver, nice shiny silver rim around the edges. Not sure what it shows. Then it's got like a black grill area going all around, which is where the speaker is. On the bottom, not a lot to see. There's model information, input and output voltage, safety information, then little rubber feet to sit it on. Then on the back, it might be hard to see. Hopefully this is in focus. There's a small hole, round hole, that's for auxiliary audio 3.5mm. Then a micro USB to charge it. Then there's a small little power button that you hold down to turn it on. And that's about it. Hopefully you could see that okay. That's sort of the size of it there. There's my hand. It's about a hand's length, maybe slightly longer, and it's not very tall, not very wide. Nice actual size, and I'm not sure if this camera does it justice. It looks very, very sleek. It looks like a much more expensive item. That nice black with silver shiny rim that goes around the edges. Then if you look on top, the brushed aluminium with this other kind of metal bit that I'm not sure quite how to describe. Then you've got these shiny silver buttons on top. It definitely does have a very, very much a luxury look, and it looks very sleek and stylish. Hopefully what you're seeing on camera or in the video will do it justice. Okay, this is not the greatest test ever. It's just to give you a bit of an idea. It's better than not hearing anything, just to show you it working. This is just an old song from hundreds of years ago called the British Grenadiers. It's a traditional British military marching song and music to traditional flute. And it's got quite good bassy sort of sound, that's why I picked it, and also it's royalty free, so I shouldn't get the video taken down by Amazon or YouTube. I love the bass from this speaker. When some other speakers say they have strong bass, they're not actually that impressive. This one really, really does have strong bass, so let's just play a few seconds of it.
Some talk of Alexander and some of Hercules, of Hector and Lysander and such great names as these.
Okay, so that's just a very basic test, and it also had some vocals there, so there was some vocals to test as well as music. And also, that especially that last sort of segment there I show really had a lot of heavy drums, so that should show the bass off as well as I can. Just bear in mind it's not as good as hearing it in person, because this is just a video recording. So hopefully that's just sort of showing it in action, showing it working and giving you a rough idea. I love the bass from this, it definitely does have strong bass. It costs about £45, so it is under £50. It's £45 or $44.99 with a recommended retail price of £70.99. In the US it's $60 or $59.99 with an RRP recommended retail price of about $150. Its RRP is $149.97, so it's worth more than it currently costs. And in the UK it's about £45 or $60 in the US. So it's a reasonable price, especially when it is a much higher quality speaker than I have actually reviewed before. Much more expensive, much more high quality tech inside, and it looks the nicest I've used. So I do highly recommend it. It's a good deal, it's a good, reasonable priced speaker, yet it looks really good and performs really, really well. I do recommend it. A link will be in the description. Please like and comment on this video, and if you could do me a huge favour and subscribe to my YouTube channel, it will just take a few seconds to help me out a lot. Also, if you're watching this as a review on the Amazon product page, please hit the yes button next to was this review helpful. That will help me out a lot too. Thanks for watching.